Hello, this is Chase Morrison back again with Profitwyse with the second edition here on how to create a financial dashboard using Excel. This is all about considerations on workbook layout. So one of the first considerations is just how we're going to set up the Excel worksheet where all the dashboards are going to reside on. So if we move over to Excel, here you can see the beginning of our dashboard, and you can see that we've put a header up here with a company name and a description of what the dashboard is all about, a financial dashboard, as well as the date. Some considerations here are, in this instance, we gathered up 23 columns for the width of our report. So why 23? Well, it just should be an odd number because we want the same number of columns or the same amount of real estate for each of the two dashboards. And what I did here is since I have 23 columns, the 12th column, because I'm going to have 11 columns for each, I've made a little bit narrower. So I'm going to kind of use these columns as a guide to layer in or lay in the dashboards as I create the actual dashboards. Now I went ahead and I added also two small, I guess I would say bookend columns here that I shrank down to a very small size just outside the width of my report, and I kind of use these to guide me setting up the area of my actual report when I define the area in Excel. So obviously this is going to be a landscape oriented report. Okay, so that was some of the major things about the report layout. So the next thing is creating a defined name. Now this is going to be very important, having a defined name in the report. This defined name is going to play multiple functions in our report, and I'll show you how I set it up. So moving back over here to Excel, I basically set up this defined name over here. The name of the defined name that I'm setting up is ME_NUM for month-end number. So this is going to be a number that is between 1 and 12, and it's going to help me tell Excel how many months of actuals I have in the report, and it's going to play an important role in all the different graphs as we set them up. But right now you can already see how this is going to work. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. You can see the whole thing. So right here in this cell, I have the month in April 2021 date, you can see, and April being the 4th month. You can see this is the formula that's going to change the month each time this month-end number changes. So in this formula, it's pretty simple. This is just a character string, and it's joined with an ampersand, and then I'm using this choose function here, which references this ME number here. And what this choose function does is it just goes down this list, and it picks up whatever the index is of ME number off that list. And then here at the end, I've added an ampersand to append in the year in. So how does this work? I mean, you can see pretty easy here. If I were to show you how I can just reference this right off of the sheet up here, when I hit enter on this cell, it just brings this number 4. If I change this to 5, it's going to change it to 5 and 6. Well, you can see, if you've also been watching over here, it's changing my date here as well. So this is going to play a big part in our graphs, but for now, just suffice it to say that it's only being used in this choose function right at the moment. Now you want this defined name to be global to the worksheet. So the way that you make sure that it is global is you can come over here to Formulas, Name Manager, and right here you can see that the scope is Workbook. So there's two scopes. It can either be Workbook or Worksheet, but we want this to be global to the entire workbook. So we want to be able to use this on any worksheet. The next consideration is chart headers, which is a very small little piece of the puzzle, but let me show you what I'm referring to. The headers that are right here are going to be the headers for each one of the charts, or the description of the chart. So I want to have them right here, and these were the top 2 charts that we defined or had in our final dashboard. Now I've set them to have a little bit bigger font, but you may be wondering, well, why is he doing this? He could just put the chart titles in the chart itself, but here's why I don't do that. The reason why is here's an example where I just quickly created a little chart with the same title, and as you can see, what ends up happening is that the chart title takes up a lot of real estate in the graph itself. So if I were to delete that out of the chart, then I get more real estate within the chart object itself, which is what I want. So I prefer to put the chart titles above the chart object so that I can get as much room to put legends and whatever else I want to put into the chart object itself. So those are some of the basic requirements of the layout for our dashboard.